everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a breast cancer awareness head wrap. It's satin lined, and we're going to make some lemonade out of lemons. What I did was I made a mistake in cutting my fabric, so I'm going to show you how I ornately corrected that mistake. So what I should have done was I should have folded this in half lengthwise and then in half widthwise. Somehow or another, I don't know what I did. I just I cut it wrong. So as you can see, I am folding the fabric, and this is my template that I am using. It should be a perfect circle once it's cut out, 24 inches in diameter, and it didn't quite happen that way. But in a perfect world I would have folded this right, but we'll just see what happens from here. So I am clipping it down, pinning it down to hold it in place, and giving it a cut. And then I will take, this is for the outside of the bonnet portion of the head wrap, and then I will take my black satin to line the for the inner lining, and I will use the pattern that I just cut out to cut that out as well. Okay, so I have cut the inner lining as well, and I'm going to unfold it. Oh no! I cut the fold, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut that in half, and now I realize that I am going to have to sew a seam in order to put these two pieces together. So you're going to see me going over and over the seam, and the reason being is because I was trying to make that seam really tiny in so that I don't lose that much of the circumference of my piece. So I was literally working on the edge, so when I would take it off the sewing machine and check it, there were little gaps that I had to go over and fix. But it ended up, I didn't lose very much circumference at all. And then I will finish that, press it out, and then we will show you how I went on to try to hide that seam. And what I used to try to hide the seam were Hot Fix Rhinestones. Okay, so I'm just pressing it out here. And you always want to press your fabric out, the outer lining at least, so that you get it straight, because once it is gathered, once you add the elastic and it's gathered, it'd be really difficult to get any wrinkles out. So this is me hot fixing some pretty pink rhinestones on it. I thought that would actually be a nice addition to the breast cancer awareness head wrap. And so you'll see that I did leave about an inch at the edges, so that when I sew around, that I will have that allowance. So here I am pinning together, clipping together the two pieces, and what you want to do is we are going to pin this basically inside out, so right side to right side together, and that is how we are going to pin this, right side to right side. Okay, so you can see the rhinestones are on the inside. And then we're going to sew. So I am sewing the circle together about an inch. I'm leaving about an inch, and I am leaving maybe about 2 inches so that I can turn this inside out. So you leave an open portion so that you can flip this inside out, and once you flip it inside out, then you see that the outside is the outside, and the satin, the shiny satin part, which is going to be the inside of the head wrap, is on the outside as well. And so I'm just checking to make sure that I've got enough room here, so you can see that again I did leave some space where those rhinestones end, and I am just sewing around, because what I'm doing is I am creating a casing to enclose my elastic. And my elastic is not very wide, it's about 1/2 inch wide. So I am attaching a bobby pin and 2 safety pins. The bobby pin just kind of gives me a little bit more leverage. A big bobby pin, that's not necessary. You don't have to do that. You can just use a safety pin or whatever feels most comfortable for you, but that bobby pin just gives me a little bit more room to work with. And I went ahead and I attached the other safety pin to the end so I don't lose my elastic inside the casing. Alright, so I do have a seam allowance of about an inch or so, because what I do is go ahead and sew the ends of the elastic together. Okay, and then you just arrange your gathers, you know, the way you need to arrange the gathers. Alright, so there you go. Alright, and so now I took the rest of this yard of fabric, and we have 2 strips that I cut, and I guess I cut these strips maybe around 8 inches or so, 8 or 9, about maybe 8 inches wide. And this is going to be the actual wrap that goes around the head to secure that head wrap to your head. So I sewed the 2 ends together, and I think, if I am not, I have about close to 100 inches, maybe 90 something inches long. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is, and I'm just flattening that out, the seam. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and finish the edges just by running a seam or a hem, if you will, along each edge. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I am trimming off the free ends as close to the seam as possible, just to create a more finished edge. Okay, so now that I've got the finished edges, I'm going to take that middle seam, I'm just going to fold it onto itself, and I am actually, what I'm doing is checking to see which side I am going is the back side. Alright, so this is where I'm going to attach the head wrap. And so I'm just going to attach the head wrap by, I'm actually going to run 2 seams. First I'm going to actually attach it to itself. Okay, so it's one continuous piece. Well, it's one continuous piece already, but we're going to attach, I'm going to run a seam right down the middle. Okay, then you're going to take whatever's going to be the back of the head wrap, and we are going to attach the scarf portion by running 2 seams. So I try to align the seam with those rhinestones. Okay, so we are just going to attach. So I ran 2 seams down the back to attach the scarf portion to the head wrap, and I just kind of, for a little decoration, went ahead and attached more rhinestones, just to make it a little bit ornate, just to kind of give the effect of, yes, I meant to do that, even though we all know I didn't mean to cut that seam. Okay, alright, so here we have them attached on both sides, and here's the final product. Thank you for watching. Make sure you visit our website, www.imaniabydesign.com.